they had their Nintendo Direct, which is, the little online sort of showing of Nintendo products. And they had one for Smash Brothers, for the new Smash Brothers coming out on Wii U in winter, they announced, and 3DS in the summer, which is surprising. I thought they'd be the same time. Not sure what the strategy is there or what.
It ensures people buy both.
Sure, but you think the Wii U needs bigger help to get that one out first or sooner.
Yeah, you do. But I mean, at this point, I almost wonder if Nintendo is just...
They know it's over for the Wii U? Or...
Yeah, I mean, people have 3DSs in in now. So maybe they're thinking people buy it for the 3DS, really enjoy it, and then go and decide that at that point, maybe following a price drop, that they want a Wii U so they can play the console.
Well, I always said that it'd really be the death or savior to see how when Mario Kart comes out and Smash.
Yeah.
And those are the two on the horizon this year. So hopefully, if that doesn't save it, then it's over. Then it's over. I'll admit that, it's over. There'll be 2 full years of the system out this winter. Then we'll see what happens.
Someone pointed out, I think it was on Twitter, and I didn't fact check it, but I wouldn't doubt it, that I think it was as of today or as of yesterday, the Wii U is as old as the Dreamcast was when the Dreamcast got shit canned, and the Wii U has sold half as many units as the Dreamcast.
Well, that's not good. If that's true.
If that's true. Like I said, I didn't fact check it, but it was widely circulated. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But it's also a testament to Nintendo's pockets.
Oh yeah.
They can afford that. Sega couldn't afford that.
Plus, they're offset by the 3DS market, which they're making tons of money there.
So anyway, Smash Brothers.
So Smash Brothers. So the thing about Smash Brothers that always bothered me was the fact that some people play it "quote unquote" hardcore competitive, meaning they play it without items at all, so no randomness at all, and they play it on these boring ass flat levels with no platforming or any sort of danger. And it always bothered me just because, to me, that's not what Smash Brothers is. The reason that Smash Brothers was differentiated from all the other fighting games is the fact that it did have a degree of whimsical fun, and it had a degree of randomness that made the game exciting and unpredictable. That's what, to me, what the selling point was.
I agree.
And okay, so whenever Evo every year it's played, the big fighting tournament, I always remark how I can't stand it, and I actually do try watching it. These one-on-one Smash Brothers Melee games. Or Brawl. I think they have
Melee.
Both. They still use Melee?
Brawl is technically unfair because there's randomized tripping involved.
Yeah, okay. So either way. So I'm watching these matches, and it's just... Smash Brothers is not designed as a game where, unlike other fighting games where you have dozens and dozens of moves and combos, and Smash Brothers, you get like 10 moves or less, and you get like 2 or 3 combos that you work through, on top of using all the weapons and Pokeballs and mines and everything that makes the game incredibly fun. So to try to structure it as a one-on-one fighting game, to me, obviously there's skill involved, but it's a shallow experience to look at, to me, and watch that. Just because it's the same moves over and over again, and all it comes down to is just the timing of who gets out their first move to maybe, get them off the cliff real quick, and then whatever that's, I don't even know what it's even called, or bounce them around in a combo. It's just,
okay.
I don't like it.
Here's my thing. I actually have no problem with people playing it that way. If you want to, I mean, to use a term, it's sort of like emergent gameplay. That's fine. If you want to find a game and find another game that you can play within that game, fine. If you want to take that game seriously, you can. My problem...
But that's the whole point. You say take it seriously. How is it difference between Items Gone taking it seriously versus the way the game was designed? How is that not taking it seriously?
Them taking it seriously.
If
they want to take it seriously, that's fine. Let me talk. If they want to take it seriously, that's fine. My problem with it is not so much the fact that there are people who play it that way. It's the... I find Smash Brothers to be kind of annoying all around because it's this constant cyclical attitude. It's people who say that people who want to play it the way that they deem is tournament friendly can't, because playing it with the items is the better way. Now, it's the more fun way. It's the way I play. But it's this constant argument. And then it's my big problem with people who play it competitively is their attitude. Their attitude sucks. A lot of the competitive Smash Brothers players I've met act like they are playing it the only way that it's meant to be played when they are playing it with no weapons, Final Destination. When they take it that seriously that they're acting like anyone who plays it with items,
so
with weapons.
They're taking it they're taking the emergent part of it and then making it something different.
Yeah. When the competitive side constantly trashes and acts like they're better than the non-competitive side. That really annoyed me. The problem is over time, the non-competitive side has started to do the same thing to the competitive side, and I just find it to be this huge, awful nerd rage battle.
But this is
fucking dumb as shit.
But here's the issue, though. And maybe it's because the quote-unquote hardcore tournament fighters have taken that stance. Why can't there be both modes in tournaments? Why is it only one or the other? People say, "Whoa, there's randomness involved with the items." There's randomness involved in lots of sporting and card games. Texas Hold'em is hugely popular. Randomness is a good chunk of Texas Hold'em. There is skill involved in Texas Hold'em. You can alter the outcome by how you bet, when you fold, when you raise, but you can still get fucked over by a bad beat. Same thing with Smash Brothers. Why can't we have one fighting game where randomness is a part of the competitive nature? Wouldn't that be like sort of like the then when you win, it's like I won, I had some luck on my side. Maybe I turned this tie with some luck. To me, that's just as exciting. That's why people love poker.
Yeah.
If poker was just ABC, no one would watch it if there wasn't any randomness involved.
Yes, but quite simply, I just don't think that the tournament scene in Smash Brothers wants it. I think the people who play it for fun, who play it casually, don't give a shit about tournaments, and the people who don't, or the people who do play it competitively, well, that's the only way they'd want to play it. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
Yeah, I do see that.
I don't think there's a market.
You're saying it's just the mindset that a competitive player would never want it to be anything but boring one-on-one, no items, boring level.
Yeah.
You know.
Honestly, Smash Brothers is one of those games that, and I hate to say it because I know it's not a good thing and I'll get shit for this, Smash Brothers is ruined for me largely by the fans on both sides of the coin.
Okay.
It really is.
So you don't want to get into it because of that? I think it's fun as hell.
It's an annoying, pointless debate on both sides. Am I going to buy it for the 3DS? Yeah. Is Vonnie going to buy it? Yep. Are we going to play it? Sure. Is it going to be fun? Yes. But talking about Smash Brothers is one of those things that makes my fucking skin prickle.
Okay, it's going to prickle some more. So basically, the reason why I don't like that the new Smash Brothers are going to have two different separate play modes. For fun, which is the way you'd expect it to be, where you can have items. You know, you can have random level selection. They're going to keep track of your wins, not losses, or for glory, which I hate even just that the sound of that, which makes it sound like the for fun is shit and lower than for glory. And so for glory is the competitive mode that they've added in where you get your final destination map, you get no items, and it tracks your win and losses. It just rubs me the wrong way that it's not that they're kowtowing to the competitive players, but now they've created an artificial rift in the two sides. You could always play the way you wanted to play before, quote unquote, with the immersion side where, okay, we'll just turn off the items. We'll take a second, turn off the items. We'll just not randomize it. We'll play the one level. We'll create your quote unquote immersion competitive side. Now it's artificially split up by Nintendo directly.
I don't think that's a big deal at all.
It just rubs me the wrong way. I'm not saying, obviously competitive players now think it's awesome to have that. It rubs me the wrong way just because it now encourages what you're talking about, where now you're going to have two sparring enemies against, or two groups of enemies sparring against each other.
I feel like Nintendo, because it's called For the Glory, and because Nintendo's come out and said that they did not ever really intend the game to be played that way, I feel like it's a tongue-in-cheek, simple mode that took them 5 minutes to slap together that is going to make an entire set of their fans happy while completely not touching anything that made Smash Brothers fine.
Well, that's true, but then again, why not have wins and losses tracked on the for fun mode?
I don't know. The fact that wins are tracked is probably enough.
Okay.
I don't know. I just don't see it as, especially if what
I'm not saying I hate it. I just said it rubs me the wrong way. But I just don't like the fact that.
But to go back to what you said before, with the playing it for fun and having fun with it, then why do you care about stat tracking that deeply that you're upset that losses are cut?
Again, it's because it's differentiating the two types of players, which I don't think you should do. I've never heard of a game to that extent go out of its way to saying this is the one type of player playing every game and this is the other type of player.
I really don't think it's.
The two meet.
It looks.
It's just really weird.
It looks like it, but all you're doing is picking a preset template. That's it.
Okay, but again, there's going to be things missing one or the other, and then if they come out with DLC that one side gets one thing, the other player side doesn't, people are going to be pissed off. You know what I mean? It's just wonky to me to even go down that road. Again, why don't they just keep it the way it was before, where click on a button and turn off the items? There you go, you're set. You have your competitive mode the same way they played it in Melee. Why don't you just keep it like that?
I don't know.
I do like the fact though that Nintendo's saying they are going to try to track cheating more. and people that manipulate, I guess, the glitches in the game. So that's cool. The way they're going to do that. That's or people that drop out. I hate fighting games online when people drop out when they're going to lose. To me, that should be an automatic loss. Yeah. But that part's cool.
I retweeted a joke that Chris Kohler put out the other night that I thought was funny, and it was that it's awfully nice of Nintendo to split up the Smash Brothers players into people who enjoy Smash Brothers and people who don't. Is how he described it. And I think that's funny, and that is kind of my take on it. I don't like the competitive thing, but I really just don't care if there's people who play competitively, as long as they stop acting like they're better than people who don't, and vice versa.
Okay.